Here's your April 2024 Pipedrive wrap-up. This month, we'll be talking about the ability to have read-only fields in Pipedrive, the ability to add multiple labels to your deals, being able to add descriptions to your lead/deal custom fields, being able to add in multiple email signatures, and being able to sync multiple emails. Let's talk about the custom field descriptions in Pipedrive. The custom field descriptions are only available at the lead/deal level. Another thing to keep in mind is that this feature is available on the advanced plan and up, which means that if you're on the central plan, unfortunately, you do not have access to this feature. When you set up the feature, the way that you do that is going into your settings section, heading company settings, going down to your data fields. Whenever you go ahead and create a new custom field or edit a current one, you're gonna have the option here to add a description. Now, I'm not sure exactly what the character limit is. I'm assuming it's around 140 to 255 characters, but that's just something that hopefully you should run into anyway, because you should be keeping your descriptions and instructions pretty short. Once you've added in your description, you will see that the preview of the description here within the data field section itself. And if we go to a deal itself, you're gonna see that now we have an eye or information icon next to the custom field that has a description. Now, all your team members are going to have to do is click on the eye icon that shows up right next to that custom field once a description is added, and they'll be able to read that custom field description. In this case, for the lead source, we have where the opportunity originated from. Now, these descriptions can be really helpful to cut down on the onboarding and training time that new Pipedrive users would have as they learn, join your company and learn the system. Now, while we're on the screen, let's talk about deal labels in Pipedrive. We could always have deal labels in Pipedrive, but before they acted more as a single choice option where you could only select one of the deal labels that you had available. Now it works more as a multi-choice option where you can have more than one option chosen. That's exactly how the leads labels used to always work, and now they've updated for the deal labels as well. So you can see here in our demo account, we only have 2 labels right now, but you can select them. You select multiple just by clicking on it. If you want to deselect a label, you can do that just by unselecting it, selecting it one more time within the label dropdown. Now, if we could look at the deal in the pipeline view, you can see that those label or labels will show up. If you have multiple labels, they will show up all across the top of the deal card. The reason why these deal labels are so important for a lot of users is because it does give extra visibility from the pipeline view. So let's talk about the read-only feature in Pipedrive. This is a feature that's been highly requested from a lot of our clients for a number of years now, so I'm glad that they finally came out with this feature. The read-only feature is only available to the professional plans and up, which means unfortunately, if you're on the essential or the advanced plan, you don't have access to this feature. So to make fields read-only or editable by only certain users, the way that you do that is when creating a new custom field at any of those levels, or when updating a current custom field, you can see this editing section here. When looking at the editing section, you have the option to allow all users to edit the fields, or you can decide which users can edit it based off of the deal permission sets, right? So not based off of teams or anything else, not based off of individual users, but rather the deal permission sets. So just to confirm, if you are on the advanced or professional plan, you're limited to 2 deal permission sets. If you're on the power plan, you have 10 different deal permission sets that you can have. And on the enterprise, you can have unlimited. So just be aware that based on what plan you are, you're gonna have more flexibility in how you set up which fields are edited by which users. So for example, let's say that we want a field edited by all users. That's what happens by default. You can see up here it's going to be selected. It says all users. In this case, we have 6 users in this account, which is why it shows a total of 6 potential users there. When we do that, we're going to see here that if a field is editable by all 6 users or however many users you have in the account, this field is going to be blank. If you have a field that you decide that you want to edit and you only want a certain permission set to have access to editing it, then you can unselect one of those. When you hit save, you're gonna see a pencil icon should show up. In this case, I have all 6 of my users as admin users, so that's why it shows not just a pencil icon, but a pencil icon with a slash through it, which means that it's not editable by anyone Whereas if you see a pencil icon with a number next to it, that shows that the field is editable by certain users. Now that we've jumped to this deal is that this field is not editable, right? So you see that it has the pencil icon with the slash through it. Unfortunately, we cannot edit that field anymore. So we've talked a lot about deal related features. Let's talk about email now. Now, to sync multiple emails in Pipedrive, we can do so by going to our personal preferences and going to the email sync section. One important thing to note is that you can see that, for example, in my demo account, I'm on the professional plan, so I can sync up to 2 emails at a time. This will change per plan. Obviously, on the central plan, you cannot sync any emails with Pipedrive. On the advanced plan, you can sync 1. On professional, you can sync 2. On power, I think it's 3. And on enterprise, it's 5. I'm sure about advanced and professional, and on enterprise, power is the one where I'm not sure if it's 3 or if it's 4. But either way, it's a lot. And most likely, you probably won't be needing more than 2. But everyone has a different business set up different ways. With that being said, the way that you add multiple emails is the way that you add even just one email, which is just by hitting add account. You're gonna put in your information and go through the steps, whether it's Gmail or Outlook or whatever other email provider you're doing. You just set it up the same way. Once you have your multiple email accounts set up, in both of them, you'll be able to say whether you want to have your email shared or private, if you want to sync the entire email inbox or specific labels or folders, and when you want to start syncing from. I think the other thing that's really important is that once you do set up your emails, you're going to have an option to say whether you want to have a default email or to have either of your emails be kind of switched interchangeably. Let's take a look at what that looks like. Okay, I've gone ahead and synced 2 of my different emails that I have. The one for a different company I have, remotetips.com, and for iSales Solutions. Here you can see that now I've synced both the emails. You can see it right here. It says that the syncs are active or inactive. And you can see that here, since I'm on the professional plan here, that I have 2 of 2 available emails to sync. In addition to that, as you can see, you can set up the different settings per email sync that you have. So right now I would be updating the settings for Matthew at iSalesSolutions.com, whereas if I wanted to update the email sync settings for hello at remotetips.com, I just select them and move forward here. One button that I want to bring your attention to is this one, default email account. Your default email account, as it says here, is the one that would be automatically selected in order for you to send emails. If you do not have a default email account, you'd have to choose an email every single time by default. In addition to that as well, just one other thing to keep in mind is that even though you can have multiple emails synced with Pipedrive, when it comes to automated emails, you can only ever use one of your accounts for sending automated emails. So just keep that in mind as well. Let's take a look at what this looks like within, say, a Pipedrive deal, and also what it looked like within your inbox within Pipedrive. If we take a look at the email composer within a deal, or really anywhere that you can compose a message within Pipedrive, you're gonna notice that you now have a drop-down arrow next to your email. Again, if I did not choose hello at remotetips.com to be my default email, then this would just say choose your email, and every single time you'd have to choose. In this case, since I put this one as my default, it shows here. But if I did want to send an email as Matthew at iSalesSolutions.com, all I have to do is hit the drop down and choose the email that I want to send from. This also affects what your email inbox looks like. Let's take a look at that. Here in your email inbox and any section within the email, sales inbox section, you can see that you now have folders or sections for each inbox. So that should give you a good understanding of what the multiple email sync looks like and how it works. Let's talk about email signatures next. Set up your email signature in Pipedrive. All you have to do is go into your personal preferences and back to the email sync setting. Once you're here, you're gonna notice that there's gonna be a section now for signatures. You can see that we have a section here for each of the emails that we have synced in Pipedrive. And as mentioned previously, we can have multiple email signatures added for each account that you have synced. You're gonna notice that the first email signature is always the one that's gonna be default. If you want to have a different one being default, according to my testing, what I'm seeing is that you just have to delete that first one that's currently default and then recreate it so that the one underneath, if you want that one to be the default, would become the new default. So when you go to actually use your signatures, the way that you select the signature that you want, let's say we're in a deal here, is you select the template that you want, you have your email signature that shows up by default, the default signature, but you're able to change what signature you have just by clicking the squiggly icon right here for signature and selecting the other signature that you would like to have. All right, so that'll be a wrap for the April 2024 Pipedrive review. If you have any questions about anything that we've talked about today or any other Pipedrive feature that we did not talk about today, feel free to leave a comment down below. Please remember to like the video, subscribe, and click the notification bell to make sure that you are always up to date with the latest with Pipedrive. See you in the next video.